In this video, we teach you how to West Coast swing with 3 basic patterns and 3 easy concepts. What's up, gang? My name is Brian B. This is Miss Megan. We are from West Coast Swing Online. We're going to teach you how to West Coast swing with 3 basic patterns and 3 easy concepts. So all of the West Coast swing patterns are based off of some sort of a push. We sometimes call this a sugar push. Some sort of a pass, either a right side pass or a left side pass. And the third is some sort of a whip, which is the first 8-count pattern. And then we're going to have 3 concepts we're going to talk about. One is going to be understanding the footwork, one is going to be understanding the connection, and one is going to be how to look at West Coast swing as a 2-beat increment dance. First, quick breakdown of the basic footwork. For 1-2 and a sugar push or a push break, I'm going to walk back for 2 steps, 1, 2. Small step back for me. Then we're going to triple step for 3, and I'm going to step forward for 4. The follower is going to step back, and then we have what's called an anchor step. It's the last 2 beats of every pattern we do in West Coast swing, and it's a triple step that happens underneath our body, right? So if we did this in a connected format, this hand is low, so that this is all level. Our elbows are collected to our bodies, closer to our bodies. I'm going to offer this out as a wall for Miss Megan to run into. I walk 2 steps back, 1, 2. She runs into the wall. We triple step in place, 3, and I send her forward with a small step for me for 4 till she runs out of space. And then we have our final 2 beats, 5 and 6. That's called our anchor step. So we call this either the push break, or oftentimes people will call this the sugar push. That's the first basic pattern. Second basic pattern we're going to use, I'm going to go to this side. It's called a right side pass. You'll sometimes hear it called an underarm turn. So the underarm turn or right side pass looks like this: 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. So to break down that footwork, actually I will put you on this side, Miss Megan. On 1, 2, let's just talk leaders footwork first because you're not going to be able to see both of us. For the leaders, I have to step back for 1, underneath me for 2, so I'm facing the slot. I turn around for 3 and 4, so I'm on the other side. My same anchor step, 5 and 6. So if I did that one more time, I curl out for 1, I cross in front for 2, I triple 3 and 4, and we anchor step 5 and 6. For the followers, Miss Megan's going to walk 2 forward steps for 1, 2, 1, 2. She's going to turn slightly to her left for 3, crossing and back on 4, and then triple step 5 and 6. We call that the anchor step. If she does it one more time, she walks forward for 1. For 2, she turns slightly left, 3 and 4. We anchor step 5 and 6. So to make this work, fairly simple, but there is one common mistake that we make as leaders, one common mistake for the followers. We'll handle that right off the bat. On the first 2 steps for the leader, 1, 2, I need to not go towards Miss Megan. So I can either step across or together, but what I can't do is step opposite her and make her run out of space here. So that's my key for the leaders. For the followers, 1, 2, we call this dancing skinny. She's going to slide past me sideways, 3 and 4, so she can get underneath the arm. If we did that again from the other side, or from the same side, 1, 2, I've stayed this way. At this point, I can see my watch. If I still wore a watch and we didn't all have iPhones, I could see my watch on count 2. She slides under 3 and 4. We anchor step 5 and 6. That is the underarm turn or right side pass. We're going to jump to the whip because that's the next one that really wigs us out, because up to this point, we've only dealt with 6-count patterns, and now it becomes an 8-count pattern. So the whip is the first 8-count pattern. We'll count it first. 1, 2, 3, and 4 of 5, 6, 7, and 8. So it's an 8-beat pattern. With leaders footwork, again, much the same way as the right side pass, I'm going to step out for 1, cross in front for 2. It's also acceptable to step back and together. So that's my 1, 2, 1, 2. On 3 and 4, I've allowed the follower to have the slot. 3 and I step across for 4. Now I step sideways down the slot for 5, back in for 6, and we anchor 7 and 8. One more time. 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. For the follower's footwork, she's going to step forward for 1, backwards for 2, back together forward 3 and 4. She turns a half turn back for 5, one more step back for 6, and then the 7 and 8 anchor steps. So you can see the anchor steps at the end of every pattern. One more time, forward for 1, backwards for 2, we triple step 3 and 4, walk back for 5, for 6, 7, and 8. To lead this as the leader, I need to maintain this good connection between us where our elbows are drawn back. I have connection. I put her on the first step for 1. I turn this hand backwards for 2. I catch her underneath her left shoulder blade here, and she raises her elbow to fit into closed position. So if we did that straight through, we'd have 1, 2. We catch this. We feed the follower back 3, and we step across for 4. So I'm straddling her track, but I'm on the left foot. I get out of her way for 5, for 6, 7, and 8. One more time. 1, 2, 3, and 4 of 5, 6, 7, and 8. So we have a sugar push, a side pass, and a whip. Then we're going to get to our 3 concepts that are going to make this become West Coast swing. So number 1, we just covered the footwork. Understanding the followers and leaders' footwork is key. Number 2 is the connection between us. So West Coast swing is all predicated on this connection, because without it, we have to use the force, and that takes a long time to develop. So we want to use this away connection. So we're going to drill this by connecting ourselves away and kind of leaning away, maybe even sitting our hips back and being able to do this together. So that's an away connection. Then without moving our feet, we're going to lean into one another and create a forward connection. So our ability to move in and out of these forward and back connections is going to be key. So this is a good drill right here. We can then start to practice it in a sugar push, where we're using those connections forward and back, right? So that's number 2, is developing that connection between us. Number 3, what we find is West Coast swing is confusing because it doesn't have 8 beats of pattern that match 8 beats of music. So if you guys are engineers or music minded, you might find it confusing to move in and out of 6 and 8 count patterns. So we recommend looking at the dance in 2-beat increments. So I'll count this first straight time in the way we would learn it with 6 and 8 beats, and then we're going to count it in 2-beat increments. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. Start again. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. Oh, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm freaked out because it's an 8 count pattern. It's very difficult. But if we start to feel this in 2-beat increments, it would be easier long term to sort out. So we think 1, 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1, 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1, 2, 1 and 2, 1, 2, 1 and 2. So although that might seem a little confusing at this point, starting to look at the dance in 2-beat increments will help you start to feel the swing within the dance, and that will lead us to our 4th thing. We're not going to cover this, but the real thing that makes West Coast swing magical is the musicality. But that's mind-boggling. First, I have to know my footwork. I have to be connected to my partner. I have to tackle that 6 and 8 count beat waffling back and forth the pattern, so I want to look at it in 2 beats. And then after that, I can start to explore musicality. So if you're new at West Coast Swing, here at West Coast Swing Online, we love you. We're excited about getting people started. So we created a beginner resource page. We'll link that up in the corner. It'll also be in the description below. On it, we'll have all sorts of resources to expand your knowledge in all the areas that might be troublesome to you as a beginner. We have blog posts, videos, lots of helpful hints. We collect that all on one page because we know it's important to you guys as new West Coast swing dancers. So if you ever have a question, you can go to the website, go to the Contact Us page. We answer back dozens of emails every day. So feel free to ask us any questions you want, and we'll see you guys on a dance floor soon.